Hello, all you amazing and wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel, IStandAlone Gaming, and today we're going to be playing some more Satisfactory. So with that being said, let's go ahead and drop that down. But in the last episode, we made a truck transport our alumina, casings, and sheets all the way to our old base, or our main base currently. May change in the future, hint hint. But with that being said, that is what we did in the last episode. We also unlocked the hover pack, which is used with electrics. Basically, if you have power, you can use the hover pack. It's pretty nice. And we also unlocked the hazmat suit right here. The only thing I don't like about the hazmat suit is that it does not affect this gas still, which is kind of lame. I know you get the respirator, but that means you have to use the air filters. So it's just another consumable, basically. Only downside, but small complaint to have. But with that being said, we discussed about how I was going to make radio control units at the end of that episode, and I went ahead and did that. Not only did I make radio control units, I made supercomputers. So we're doing pretty good on the parts category here. Basically, I let the game run after I made the two manufacturers for each. So I have two manufacturers for the radio control units, two manufacturers for the supercomputers, and I let them run for quite a while. The supercomputers took longer than I expected, but I basically let the game run overnight, and we have a full inventory of both now. So with that being said, I'll show you the quick little setup I did. It's basically the same as the ones that I made before, where I just had the lifts travel from underground, as you can see, nice and tidy. And then the export was above ground. So right here, not only can you see, one of the reasons I like the export above ground is because you can see what you're actually making. You don't necessarily need to see what's going into the machine, although it is very useful if you're going to use multiple lines for something similar. But as you can see, we got radio control units here, and right here, supercomputers. So very nice to have, definitely. And this allows us to get a lot of milestones completed. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do, aeronautical engineering. Going to check that out, see what we need for the drones, and see if we can incorporate those into some of our builds or in the future. And then we'll start unlocking the next few things. So we already have, I believe, the radio control units in our inventory. Yep, right here. We have the Alcad sheets for sure. We have the casings for sure. We just need 300 motors, and we can get that lickety split. And we'll go turn in the milestone for aeronautical engineering. All right, so now we officially have everything we need to complete this milestone. Let's run out here, back to our hub, and send the spaceship off into space. Let's go ahead and do this. Thankfully, Fixmas is over. As much as I love the fact that you can have seasonal events, I did not like those gifts falling from the sky. Got quite annoying after you were completed. But let's go ahead and launch this into space.
Milestone reached. Aerial transport of resources is now possible with the use of drones, ideal for shipping across long distances or difficult terrain. Ensure the presence of batteries at drone ports for optimal results. A new project part enables progress to the next phase.
All right, so with that being said, we unlocked the drone port and the drone. So the mats actually aren't too bad for the drone. I think the hardest thing there would be the radio control unit. And they're actually not too bad for the drone port either. So we have all of these already made. So I feel like that'd be pretty easy to make. And we have all these other nice little tools. But we unlocked that. And I believe we unlocked the ability to make batteries. So if we go to maybe that's probably a manufacturer, but let's check here first. Yeah, it's definitely a manufacturer. We did get this though. Project ship part. Okay, so we actually need to make those anyway from adaptive control units and supercomputers. So that sounds fun. We get 0.75 per minute, and I think we're only getting around 3.5 supercomputers per minute. So take some of our supply if we start doing that. Next, we could go ahead and select nuclear power. And honestly, we already have all of this. We have chest full of supercomputers, so we can definitely unlock this right away. And that'll be interesting to see. So we just gotta wait for our spaceship to come back. Let that timer count down. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go see what else we need to craft, such as batteries and so on and so forth, to make this drone thing happen. So I'll see you guys once that timer ends, and we'll unlock nuclear power. Alright, so as you can see, our ship is landing right now, and we have the supplies for the next milestone, which is nuclear power. So definitely looking forward to getting started into that. Hopefully that'll increase our power production rate dramatically. But here we go. Let's go ahead and swap all this stuff in. Like so. Let's go ahead and see what our active. We'll get encased uranium cells, electromagnetic control rods, uranium fuel rods, nuclear power plant, which is definitely nice, magnetic field generator, which is for our ship parts, and we can scan for uranium. Very nice indeed. Let's go ahead and send this up. Let's check out what our next.
Milestone reached. Uranium scanning unlocked. With the provided building.
We got it, Ada. We already read it. So let's see what our next production is, which is advanced alumina production, which actually we can already unlock. So we have plenty of wire. We have plenty of alumina sheets. We have plenty of radio control units. So we're going to go ahead and pick this. In the meantime, while we're waiting, I found out that the batteries are made in the blender. So it's not exactly difficult, but it's not exactly easy. But with all the alumina that we're making over at our other plant, I feel like we have a very good opportunity here to make some batteries. We already have some mortar set up, and we can pretty much use all the excess to make some batteries. So we can set that up. Clearly, we are making encased uranium cells as well inside of a blender, so that's good to note for later. But in the meantime, let's see what it takes to make power plants. So, takes. I wouldn't say those mats are too atrocious. We're gonna need supercomputer, cable, alcad sheets, and some concrete. Let's go ahead and grab those, and then let's see what is needed to actually generate power. So. All right, so we have all the materials needed to build one of these things, and we're gonna just toss it right here for now in an area where we can and see exactly what we need. So if I had to assume, we'd have to insert uranium. We have to feed it with water, and there's going to be a waste output, which will most likely be some type of uranium. Alright, so even though we unlocked the drones and the nuclear power, I realized that we are dangerously close to overproduction or overconsumption of our electricity. It was up to 3,400 at one point. Our production is 3,600. And our max consumption, meaning if everything in our factory was running, we'd be way over at 6,300. So I think we need to add some more power just in case. We do have battery backup for a little bit of it. But yeah, I'd like to have the power increased. So we're going to head over to our fuel generation and see what we can muster up or change in order to get some more power output. So let's go over there. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so if we take a look at our setup over here, this is our original oil production. We got plastic and rubber, but they also output heavy oil residue. So the thing is we can actually increase this, and it'll give us a temporary boost in order to get more fuel, in order to get more power, because the fuel, sorry, not the power, the fuel produces more power. So we're using 120, I think, per minute heavy oil residue. But if we go over here and we're using 2 of these, which would be 100, or theoretically 3 of these if we can get all 3 running, or if we do 2 and run 1 at a lower percentage, like 50% or something like that, we could still technically produce more fuel. So we're getting 100 per minute on this for 50 oil or getting 100 power for this for 50 oil residue, getting 60 oil residue here, but we're only getting 40 fuel. So we could go ahead and get some water run up to here. Could be very easy. We only need 100 water. If we're going to run 3 of these, I would say we should get at least 300 water, so we can even overclock one of the water extractors. But in order to do so, we would have to disconnect this, generating us less power. So let's see if we can find a way to set this up before we actually transfer everything over. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And I think what we're going to do is, since we have a little bit of room over here on this side, is we're actually going to put these blenders on this side. And the reason being is because we actually have water right there. So I think that would be very nice. Of course, we have to get it to lift up to here, but we could connect everything up and have it run from this side and simply just connect it to the original existing fuel pipe. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and put blenders. Right, so we need the red side facing us and the green side facing out. Let's go right there. Like I said, we're going to do at least 2. We're probably going to have the third one down to like 50%, maybe lower. 50% would be about 25 per minute, so I think that's what we're looking at here. So that means we'll be using 50 oil residue, 50 oil residue, 25 oil residue. I think currently our machines are set up for 130, so. But I do remember I set that up to have a little bit of extra just in case we make extra, because the thing about liquids is that it tends to accumulate differently than if something was on a conveyor belt. So we're going to go ahead and use these blenders, and we're going to go ahead and make some more oil. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up. I'm going to have the water pipes come up from over here. Just come up right from the side. Get some water. And then I'm going to have to take the oil residue from over there and have that come all the way over. And then I'll just insert that. So I'm basically going to build the entire line up until this point. So that way, as soon as we disconnect this, we can connect it to the new line. And everything should be set ready to go. So let's see what happens. All right, so after some setup, we have this pipe here. It's going to connect to our heavy oil residue. And that pipe over here is going to connect to the fuel. So this one is the output. We got 3 blenders. Going to get us 250 fuel, roughly. Probably be close to 240. One might be under or overclocked as needed. But essentially, we're doubling our fuel production. So if we come over here, click on these guys, we're getting 40 fuel here, 40 fuel here, and 30 fuel, 20 fuel here. So 40, 40, 20 is 100. And we're using 60, 60, and 30. So 150 heavy oil residue. If we come over here, though, we're going to be using 125 oil residue. So we got 50 here, 50 here, and 25 here. So theoretically, since all those are full, we could probably get away with running this one at 100%, but we would nearly triple our fuel because we're getting almost 300 fuel here. So we're getting 50 from this one that's underclocked, 100 from here, and 100 from here. So we're getting 250 fuel as opposed to the 120 that we were getting. So we could easily double the amount of fuel generators we have here. As you can see, we already have a lot. I believe we had 8 total. So we could put, another whole row. Maybe add some more over there. But yeah, we could definitely increase our power generation then. But in order to do so, we have to connect these pipes. So first things first, we're going to disconnect over here. Real fast. Boom. One down. Delete this, delete this. Let's make sure the oil is going over there and starting production. We do not see it going up, so let's go ahead and put a pump. Oh, there we go. It's pumping. There we go. I have to double check. Definitely pumping. Are we getting some here? We are getting a very small amount here. Keep moving. Keep it moving. Let's go ahead and upgrade this to a tier 2 pump. It's building up. It's building up. All right. So just want to make sure we're getting the actual heavy oil residue, because if we skimp out on that, we're not going to be able to produce anything. So we're getting the heavy oil residue in our blenders now, and as you can see, we are making fuel. So all we have to do now is connect this pipe over to this pipe, and we shall do so as soon as these stop producing. That one has stopped. Slowly taking away the fuel, so let's go ahead and do it now. We'll just take this one right here. And connect it on up. Now this should be getting the fuel. And luckily we're only making 250, so one pipe is more than enough, or MK1 pipe is more than enough. And now we can go and delete the old fuel setup. We're making almost double the fuel by only making 3 blenders. So very nice, very nice. Now the only thing that we really have to do is find a place for this extra fuel to go. So we can upgrade our, production of jetpack fuel. Actually, we're really low. So I'm assuming that truck over there is taking a lot of that resource. So we could actually increase the fuel that we save now by a lot. We had it underclocked to about 20%. But what we're going to do first is increase our production. Or our power. Yay, autosave! What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pop one right here. We can pop one hopefully right next to it. Can't we? Belts. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move those belts. And basically I'm going to put another one here. I'm going to put 2 on this side, maybe 3 or 4 over here. And we'll see how it goes. All right, so I went ahead and moved that belt over just a little bit, put it on top of the other. And now we have room again. So let's go ahead and jump up here. Let's place down one of these guys. Place down one of these. And let's double this up. Right there. Go. Put one right here. And do we have room for one more? getting 6 more total. Floor is too steep. Can put it right there though. Interesting. So let's grab these. Connect everything up. All the pipes are connected. We just need to connect the power now. So let's go ahead and do that. Bring this guy right here. There we go. Now let's connect everything. We're going to make this an MK2 pole. It's 4, 5, and 6. There we go. Then we can connect this to our old line over here. And there we go. We have everything connected. We should have plenty of fuel going through the system here, which means we'll perpetually generate power. We may have to come through and either overclock or underclock some of these in order to make sure that this does not stop running, because we are using a smaller amount of crude oil. So if that crude oil backs up, it'll stop production of the plastic and the rubber, which right now isn't super important, but we definitely need the fuel to keep producing. So as long as we have crude oil, we'll have fuel. All right, so yeah, each one of these is using only 12 per minute, and we could use almost 20 of these altogether. We got about 250 fuel coming through the system here. So, you know, we started with 8, we added 6 more, which is still only 14. So, we do some math. 14 times 12, 168. So we're still producing almost an extra 80 resources here. So maybe we could go ahead and kick this up to 40. We also should probably put a pump on here just to make sure it gets to where it needs to go. There we go. Pumping. We're getting some fuel in. Everything looks ready to go. And honestly, if we don't want to increase our power, we could go ahead and jump that up some more. Just overclock this, get us the 80 pieces that we're using. Let's take a look at our power. We're up to 45 production, so we went up about another 900. Very nice. Could use to go up a little bit higher, but our actual consumption is pretty low right now. I feel like we have enough to move on to our drones and our nuclear reactors. So what we can do is let's go get the advanced alumina production milestone. I'm gonna head over to our hub over here, grab some wire and turn that in and see if we can find any alumina nodes that are closer to our base. All right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and turn in our advanced alumina production. All we need is the parts that we have here. Go ahead and spam this button. And we unlocked advanced alumina production. So now we can scan for nitrogen gas, scan for water, scan for
Extract resources such as nitrogen, water, and oil.
I think
Nitrogen.
it's just nitrogen and water for now. MK3 miner there. And then there we go, that's nitric acid. So we will get another unlock later. We just don't have it currently. Does not look like we have any nitrogen. Okay. All the way at the end here. Wow. It's all pure. All pure though? We might have to go get that. The reason being is nitrogen is used to, let me see our production here. Of course, we need radio control units. Let me go grab these quick. All right. So as I was saying, the nitric acid is used for the uranium cells here, or that's sulfuric acid. So nitrogen gas is used for the cooling parts and the fused modular frame. And I believe that is it. So it's kind of tricky to see though, because if you look, it's a gray solution. It looks just similar to alumina. So this one is alumina, but if we look at this one, see how it's gray in the bottom right there? This one says nitrogen. So keep that in mind. See what else we got here. All right, so in order to make batteries, we need sulfuric acid, which comes from sulfur, and we need alumina solution. And all right, so anyway, I think that'll be the end of this episode. Might be a little bit of a quicker one, but we need to supply us with extra power in order to start using these next upgrades. We would have needed power to use more blenders. We would have needed power to use these resource wells and stuff like that. So it was just something that we had to do to make progress in the long term. So with that being said, if you learned something or if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more content of Satisfactory or just stuff that I make in general, subscribe to my channel. But with that being said, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And I really hope to see you in the next video. Take care.